Welcome to the North Carolina Governor's Mansion alongside Joe Giglio. I'm Joe Ovius, and we've been welcomed by the governor, Josh Stein. The tradition continues. Thanks for having us back with your bracket.
Happy to do it.
All right. I think Joe and I noticed, the first thing we noticed when we walked in was, tell me this guy isn't the governor of North Carolina without telling me with some of these picks. I see High Point here. I see you're hedging a little bit with UNC, but we'll get to that in a bit.
Yeah.
But it's very, very North Carolina chalky. We got UNC Dub in here too?
Yes, we do.
There we go.
Even Duke.
Go Seahawks. Duke, it was a tough one to put on the bracket, but I did. But all Carolina, I feel like this is a North Carolina year.
Okay. You mean all of North Carolina?
All
Not
of
just-
North Carolina.
All right. I just wanted to double check on that one.
All of
Well,
North Carolina.
But let's actually start with the, shall we say, the more controversial pick, the Tar Heels. Now,
How's it controversial?
well, I don't know if North Carolina didn't get into the NCAA tournament. Were you going to have a press conference?
In fact, I had already prepared a complaint to file against the NCAA if the Heels did not make it, but we knew they were going to make it. They won 7 of their last 9 games.
Yes.
The only 2 games they lost were to Duke. And the last game, they kind of won that game. So they were fully deserving of the spot. I thought that if they won 2 games, they would definitely make it if they made it to the semis, and they did. So no one should be surprised.
So a lot of people are caught up in quads.
Yeah,
but when
whatever.
you look at the teams that Carolina, they don't have any wins of note. Well, you tell me. You're going up against the number 1 seed 3 times, another number 1 seed another time, another number 1 seed,
A 2 seed.
and a 2 seed.
Well, and a 5 seed.
Yeah.
Carolina had a ridiculous schedule.
Yes.
And here's the thing what I don't understand. Okay, they were, what were they, 22, 21 and 12 or something like that? Not a great season, but not out of keeping with many of the records that are in the tournament. Would you rather they lose to worse teams?
Right.
Like if you're going to lose a game, better to lose to a good team. And when you look at their net, whatever that's called, they're the highest in the low 30s. No team has ever been as highly ranked in that as Carolina has been and not made the tournament.
All right, so how far you got them going, though? As of this recording, the first 4 is tonight while we're doing this. So this could be old takes exposed before you know it.
Here's the thing. I think UNC will beat San Diego State, but San Diego State is a damn good team too.
Yes.
The play-in team wins because they have a game under their belt. The jitters are over. They have momentum. So whoever wins this game is going to beat Ole Miss. I think it's going to be the Heels. And then I think Michigan State's going to win. And the same way that Carolina always has trouble with Kansas in the tournament, Michigan State turns into a different team when they play the Heels. Beat them, 2 years ago, and beat them last year. And the game that they played earlier this season was very tight. UNC could have won that game. So I have my first Elite 8 team are the Heels.
There it is. There it is, Joe.
A wise man once said, if something good can happen to Carolina, it will.
Who said that, Joe?
That was me.
Yeah, you're the wise man. You're the wise man on that one. Now, what do you got?
Well, just looking at your bracket here, super chalky. You got a couple of upsets in there.
Yep.
I'm going to need you to explain Yale to me, though, because, according to Wikipedia, you went to Dartmouth and you went to Harvard.
And I hate Yale. I hate
you
Yale.
hate Yale.
But they had,
And here we are.
They had a great year last year, great run. I think that they've enough confidence that they can carry it over this year. This one is one of my stretchier picks.
Okay.
But I decided to give Yale a shot.
Do you want to tell them where Yale's best players play? Right
Well, just so you know, Yale's best player, his last name is Wolf, and he plays for
Michigan,
Yes,
yeah.
he transferred
So
to
they're
Michigan.
gonna get their anger out against him and still lose.
Well, last year was the year of the Wolf, so you're safe. 25
good.
is not. Don't
You're good.
worry. You're safe.
By the way, last year, NC State, Final Four as an 11 seed. North Carolina this year, an 11 seed.
You might be.
He's onto something.
You might be tipping something here.
You got some old school ACC love in there, too, from Maryland.
Hate Maryland.
Another pick a team you hate.
Because Maryland really is the one that started the dominoes in the ACC falling when they left and abandoned it. And so, remember those early 2000 Maryland Duke games? I mean, they were among the best ever. And so, in spite of my disdain of Maryland abandoning the ACC, I've got them in the Sweet 16.
Okay.
They will get their butts kicked by Florida. So Florida goes into the Elite Eight.
All right, let's start working down the bracket here. Let's go. It's funny, we've gone this far without talking about Duke.
Duke.
The best team in the ACC.
Pretty damn good team.
Really good team by the metrics. And I have them going to the Final Four.
Yes.
I don't think it's a stretch. They've got Cooper Flagg. He should be healthy. So how far do you got Duke going in this thing? Oh, whoa.
There we go. Just go.
Just go right there. Just fill it out the rest of the way.
Yeah, Duke is ridiculous. They are so talented, and they're so incredibly long. The Carolina-Duke games, the last two have been good. The last game was fantastic.
Yeah.
They were taller than the UNC player by 5 to 7 inches at every position, except for the small forward where it's just 1 or 2 inches they were taller.
Mm-hmm.
Their shortest starting player is 6'6". Mm-hmm. The shortest person in the entire rotation is 6'5". And it shows on their defense because they play hard defense. Teams can't get shots off. It is so hard to score against Duke. Their only Achilles heel, other than Cooper Flagg's ankle, is their youth. And I have trouble in tournament time having a freshman dominant team win it all. It has happened, sure. Carmelo Anthony, it's happened with Duke before. It's incredibly hard. That's why Kentucky, even though they were the best at recruiting for so long, could never pull it off. And Duke, I think's Achilles heel is its youth.
I love that you have the matchup with Arizona
in
the Sweet 16.
Your
shoes are black, so I'm wondering, does it say anywhere on there Tar Heel for life on your shoes?
Is that what Caleb said?
Yeah, famously showed up in Cameron.
I think
playing for a different team, mind you.
Caleb Love was the most up and down guy ever, but he is up at the biggest moments.
Yeah.
So he is going to have a great game, but it ain't going to be enough.
Fair enough. Alabama's a team that a lot of people in this area are slightly obsessed with because they've got money, they've got staff, they got a good coach. Some places would be like, I'd love to have a coach like that. So are we going to see an Alabama-Duke matchup? Are we getting, because Nate Oates, their head coach, has been known to kind of take some shots at Duke, specifically Mike Krzyzewski as well. I'm curious about this matchup.
No, Bama is super tough. They played Carolina early in the season, very strong.
Yeah.
They have everything. They have guard play. They have big guys. They have big guys coming out the wazoo. They just have guys sitting on the bench who would be starting at most other teams. So they're an excellent team. It is just that Duke is filled with probably a half a dozen first-round players.
So back over to the Carolina side.
Yep.
Who are they seeing?
They're definitely seeing Auburn.
All right.
Auburn is exceptionally strong. Broome, he does everything. He plays, and even though he's 6'10", 11 and built like a center, he moves like he's a guard. He just has such comfort with the ball and does everything for them. They are great, and this is the painful pick.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's the painful pick.
Okay. I thought we were going to get a year of the Ram, maybe, much like we had the year of the Wolf.
Auburn's interior is just too much for the Carolina Heels.
Fair enough.
2-1 so far.
Okay.
Yep.
One SEC team. Will there be another?
They are going to be playing St. John's. Have trouble with picking Patino. I'm an old school guy who remembers the Kentucky days. So we have 3-1 seeds. And here's the deal. I love Houston. And honestly, I could see Houston making it all the way. But in the history, there's been one Final Four with 4-1 seeds. And so I was like, I can't go ones all the time.
Yeah, too chalky.
Tennessee, just because, one, I think they're a better team. They're a solid team. They handled the Heels very handily earlier in the year, too. They are going to beat Kentucky. Kentucky's had a good year, frankly, but they're not going to make it. And then on this side, I love Clemson. Who is their...
Hold on. Hold on. You mentioned Clemson. So we have Maryland problems.
Yes.
You still hold a grudge on Maryland. But I'm seeing Tennessee.
Rick Barnes?
Nothing for Rick?
Rick is mellowed in his old age.
He's from Hickory, too.
Okay, fair point.
He's a Hickory guy.
Fair point. And
I figure
guys love Rick Barnes.
They do.
And Justin Gainey's on that staff.
Also,
State guys.
I figure if Rick Barnes can mature, I can mature.
Fair enough.
I'm not the man I was in the 80s. So Clemson...
You can't talk to Dean Smith like that.
Clemson is great. That's my upset.
Okay.
I had to figure out who's going to knock Houston out because I can't have 4 1 seeds. Houston, by the way, they are men. And they play defense like men. They rebound the ball offensively. So it's only because I had so much confidence in these teams, I had to find a reason to get Houston out.
So why not St. John's with Rick Pitino? It really is the Rick Pitino.
Yes.
You're talking defense, man. They got it.
I know, but their offense isn't good, and Florida has the best guards.
Fair enough.
And I think they are the hottest team in the country. I mean, Duke is about as hot, but with the injury, you just don't know how Flag is going to handle it. Florida, I just think they're the strongest.
Gotcha. So is it going to be Ricky from Hickory filling out the bottom here, or are you going Clem? Tennessee.
Right.
So 3 SEC teams
And we got Tennessee Clemson. We got a storyline there.
in the final
I know.
four.
I hate it, but when they got the Bucks, they can get the players.
Okay. All right.
Hey, no, sheer numbers. 14 teams. Come
So
on now.
We're going back to 85 when the Big East put 3 in. You're saying they will match that record?
ACC had 3. Didn't
Only
they?
Big East is the only one's ever done.
Is that true?
Yes.
There
All
might,
right.
I think you might be, if I remember correctly, they weren't an ACC team yet.
Was it?
Georgia Tech was in.
No, I'm talking about if they had 3. The ACC didn't have 3.
All right, I'm gonna have to go back
So I'll
and
have to
fact
look
check
that
you,
one.
but
Okay,
I
that's
believe
fair.
you. I believe you.
That's fair.
And he's got
Also-
a whole staff of fact checkers.
But just so you know, the year that all 4 were there in the ones was 08. Was also San Antonio. So that's where the
So that's San
Final Four
Antonio.
is.
So do you think Houston? Do you have
could have
Houston?
done it. You
You
could
I
have.
could've done
You could have. Would have been some
But I
symmetry
respect
there.
it.
Okay,
So who's Duke seeing?
they're seeing Florida,
All right.
hottest team in the country.
Duke took care of business against Auburn, so I would have known that matchup. Does it remain hot? That's
Well, here's the
question.
problem: is in this game against Tennessee, which plays fierce defense. Rick Barnes, those boys play defense. Cooper Flag twinged his ankle.
Yeah.
And so I'm saying he twinges his ankle in this game.
Oh, okay.
Because when you have a sore ankle, you're on the line. Carolina saw that 2 years ago with Baycott.
Mm-hmm.
If that ankle had held tough, I think they could have beaten Kansas, but they didn't.
Okay.
So Duke's fate, because of its youth and Cooper Flag's
So
ankle.
you're calling an ankle flare-up on the way. Okay.
Very specific. I like it.
I like that. You've thought this through, all
I
the
like
permutations.
Yes.
I really like this. All right, so Florida over Duke. But this is not the only tournament we do.
That's right.
We have the men's tournament. That is, it's in Sharpie. Can't change it. How about the women's Final Four, the women's NCAA tournament?
The championship, so we got incredible 1 seeds. And by the way, women's tournaments, there are many fewer upsets in the first 2 rounds than in the men.
Mm-hmm.
So those high seed teams tend to go through. What's ridiculous about the women's bracket is you have Carolina and Duke meeting in the Sweet 16. So if they both win their first 2 games, which they're both home for those games, and they should, they meet in the Sweet 16. So I think that's not right. I have USC, South Carolina, Wolfpack, and Texas.
Okay.
And it's going to be a USC final, and the winner is the USC.
There we go. I like it.
I like how you thought that
Hey,
through.
the economic boon, though, for the women's tournament being in Chapel Hill, Raleigh, and Durham. So we thank the NCAA.
It's pretty exciting. This is truly the best time of the year.
Governor Josh Stein, we appreciate the invite as always. Best of luck on both your brackets.
Joe, thank you guys.
Thank you.